This is kind of like watching a Bronies React where you go, what am I looking at right now? Like,
Please help me! I will get you something Judy hot for me!
Oh, I got you. Silver, please, back away from the... All right, I'll give you $5.
Thank you.
All righty, so this is the Bronies React panel. Thank you all for coming. So we know how your weekend has been going so far. How many of you, this is the first time you've been at a convention since the pandemic? How many times is the first one? Isn't it good to be back? Yeah. That's great. If you guys see at any point throughout the weekend, you guys see the staff here at Ponyville Ciderfest, any of the workers going around from Charlie up top to any of the volunteers helping out, just tell them thank you. Just be like, hey, thanks for putting in this. It could not happen without all the people that they have putting this stuff on. And it's been great. Like, I've been having a blast. You guys too, right? Yeah. So yeah. They're doing a fantastic job. They always do here. Now, who here, this is the first ever Ponyville Ciderfest? Okay, cool. How many of you, is there anyone here, this is your first ever just convention in general? Really? First ever time. Well, you're just jumping right in, aren't you? Head first. You got the hat. Is that thing made of leather?
Yeah, got it at Ren Fair for like $170, so I'm making use of it.
I would need a coupon, but that's great. That's great. So we're gonna have one more join us here in a bit. I think he's, what was he getting? A protein bar?
No, he's getting some water.
Probiotics.
What is
Vitamin C. I don't know. Jaxblade will be joining us here in a minute.
He's unleashing the quickening so he can stay that fit for another 1,000 years.
Yes.
I hope he knows how to get here.
You know what? We didn't.
outside for him?
Oh, there they are.
So the way, just a heads up here. Actually, no, I gotta ask the most important question. Is there anyone here who has never seen or doesn't even know what Bronies React is? And don't be shy. Anybody? Well, that's a first. Okay, I want you to stand up and proclaim love. Yeah, no, sometimes we get a couple hands that go up, but since most of you know what it is, I'll just tell you. So Bronies React, yeah, is a series on YouTube that we put together with a bunch of people in the fandom reacting to typically episodes these days. We recently actually took a look back at the first ever episodes of Generation 4. Did you guys enjoy that react? Was that fun?
Yeah.
Was that fun? How many of you are like, wait, you did what? Like, I didn't know that. Yeah. We talked about it for years, about potentially looking back, because we started doing the Bronies Reacts to any of the episodes starting with the season 2 finale. So we had never hit anything before that show related. And I was like, hey, this would be a nice thing to look back at before Generation 5 got going.
Right.
So, yeah. So, again, thank you all for joining us here. This panel is going to be Q&A driven. So we're going to be going off of questions for everybody. Now, typically we'll have a line so I can keep track of everything and not like keep skipping over the same person. It's like, sorry, anime guy, I know you have a question, I think, but I never got to you. So I will do my best to keep track of all that, and I'm sure you guys will help me as well, right?
Yeah.
You got my back?
Always.
Yeah,
You got my back?
Yeah.
See, they're all good liars. Yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing. Now, first things first. How many of you, because this is the elephant in the room, how many of you are wondering if we are making a Bronies React to the G5 movie?
No, never even.
No one was curious about that? No one?
I mean,
Nobody wants to know? Nobody wants to know? I hear like the quiet is like, I wanna know. Yeah, we're doing a Bronies React to the
You didn't
G5
tell me
movie.
about this.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I did tell you. When am I getting your footage?
Later.
We'll do it live. Actually, what works out right now is that I've begun editing on this already. So yes, G5 React, that is coming. Of course. I've been asked by a lot of people who are like, no, seriously. I'm like, are you gonna do the React to the movie? And I'm like, yeah.
You gotta make like an epic trailer for it.
But then like when people ask, I'm like, well, I don't want to just give it away now. I'm make you earn it. So I told like a few people like, come to the Bronies React now.
Yeah.
Now, the good news is everybody up here with me still owes me footage. So you can all feel guilty about yourselves. I submitted my footage.
I was busy with Saber watching Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I was.
Saber hasn't given me his footage either.
I know.
Big surprise.
I regret nothing.
They all are in on this together.
I was too
but-
busy watching. Like I kept forgetting to react. I was just like.
Yeah, I've seen the movie 6 times already.
Just in a general consensus, do you guys like the G5 movie?
All right, who's your best G5 pony? Here's for Sunny. Is he?
All right, let's go by raise of hands
Raise your
and
hands.
noise. Okay, so let's start with Pip. I applaud you all for taking on the load there. Good work.
Yes.
Who says Zip? Yeah, that's my crowd right there. Okay, I forget the rest of their names.
Hitch. Of course. Hitch. Who's Hitch?
Hitch.
Yeah, Hitch. Yeah, Hitch. You got some
Okay.
good ones. All right.
Who says Sunny?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it.
Yeah, that's
all
it.
the hunters.
That's all we need to know.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, I guess you guys don't have any favorites.
Yeah, I guess you guys have nothing to say.
No.
So anyways. Yeah, let's hear it for Izzy. Come on, Izzy. Yeah, there we go. Of course.
Popularity contest or something.
That's good.
Izzy's had like the most sold out merch like from other pit tables. Like
Yeah.
I've seen like pins and stickers like sold out of Izzy, and like
Yeah.
the other 4 are still there.
Yeah, it is.
Where was this for Pinkie Pie, huh? Yeah, all of you should be beautiful.
No, it's been fun to see though because obviously it seems like they did a great job with all the characters going into it. So, what about Silver? I don't know who your favorite is.
Yeah,
Who's your favorite?
Well, I was cheering during the Izzy section. You know.
Yeah.
You're an Izzy.
I'm an Izzier.
You're an Izzy. So
I'm
I
a tizzy about an Izzy.
so let me see all those hands again for the Zip fans. All right, are we going to complain or not complain? Are we going to take the name that since we are supporters of Zip, we are Zippers? Yeah? We're Zippers. Zippers. All right. It'll grow. I'll get that going.
Well, you need the zipper for that, then.
Wow. All right. Well, let's get into Q&A. Let's have fun here. It could be random questions. They could be to any of the individuals up here or all of us. You got your hand up right away because you knew I was going to do this. So, Anime Guy, why don't you kick us
Well,
off?
this is for Silver from Sweetie Blue. She's wanting to know if you've eaten that all today.
Yes, I had a full omelet for breakfast.
Good. Nice.
It had eggs.
What kind of egg?
Chicken eggs.
Chicken.
What can also go to the rest of you?
What did we eat today? Was that the question?
I ate like a burrito with like 10 eggs in it. It was 10. I've eaten 10
It was
eggs.
2 eggs.
No, it was not 2 eggs.
It was 2 eggs. It was $10. It was 2
No,
eggs.
it was 10 eggs. All right, I've eaten 10 eggs before.
We went to that build a breakfast place.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
And yeah, I got myself some granny waffles.
Yeah.
I thought
I don't know why I was going into this now, but this is what we're going to be talking.
I got the floating pancakes.
Floating pancakes? Those just the name scared me. I'm like, is this a before or after sit-up? Like floating pancakes?
Does that describe what happens in the toilet, or?
What did you eat, Paleo?
I ate half a protein bar that Jax gave me.
And it
Yeah,
was
I gotta
really
look out for
delicious,
people.
right?
Yeah. It's one of those things where I'm just like, look, you need food, just get energy here. Here's a protein
Yeah,
bar.
I'll eat a
Sweet.
lot of dinner though.
You guys know the emergency packets, the powder?
Yeah.
All right, how many of you just chug it? Like just put the powder in your mouth? Besides this guy.
Yeah, okay. I'm like the medic of the team because I'm just like, all right, everyone got their emergency, everyone drink their water.
Medic of the team.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they call you the loony.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I agree with that.
But he's also, in decent shape. I am still. So out of curiosity, out of right now, by raise of hands, who knows that they have a question here? Okay, so you know what I am going to do?
Make 'em
I'm going
line
to
up.
do so. I think I will have you guys. I have a camera over here. If you line up just behind it, then we can get through things, and I know I'm not going to mess things up.
Yes.
And for anybody,
Smart idea.
you like that?
Yeah.
Was that pretty good?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I love that. Like 5 hands went up and 2 people lined up.
Yeah.
Don't think I can't count, guys.
I'm losing. I'm good.
But and throughout it, again, random questions are good. On point questions are good. Any questions are good. they probably ask that they're family friendly. You don't have to walk out the door, by the way. The light just goes out the stairwell. It's like, no, well, now I'm missing everything. All right, first question, or second question, I guess.
So, I guess as a general question, one of your earliest Brony Reacts was to the college humor parody, My Little Pony meets, like the My Little Ponies meet the Bronies.
Right.
And I think the Brony fandom was very much in its early stage, kind of like a, oh man, people are making fun of this. Guys liking ponies, how dare they not take us serious? Do you think that when you made that video, you guys were kind of like, in a state of like, we were kind of like, no, everyone needs to take us serious? Do you think that it's like a, not like saying like we couldn't, like it was a state where we couldn't laugh at ourselves for like, yeah, this is kind of a silly concept, isn't it?
So, just real quick, was I the only one on it? Were you on that one?
I wasn't on.
I was on it.
Yeah,
You were on
it.
Yeah.
Okay,
And he
cool.
was cooking.
Yeah, I was cooking.
Good.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late. There's some sort of transportation thing. I think we feel weird though.
Oh my, wait.
It's me, Fire Team Barney.
Wait, what happened to you? You've like meshed into two different.
Yeah, so Twilight and Rarity kind of both tried to get here on the same time. Now I just want to blast them with fashion. I love it.
Wait, which is the more dangerous weapon you're holding? Is it the hairdryer or the
gun?
Yes.
Yes.
I feel like I'm a virgin and not.
Well, I don't know why you're feeling the latter, but yeah.
Yeah, I just want to read books but do hair.
So obviously, Fire Team Harmony has been a big part of all the Bronies React. Can we get a loud round of applause? How comfortable is it walking around in this hotel?
On a scale of 1 to 10?
Sure.
-6.
Because it's so cold, right?
No. It feels like I'm wrapped up in the carpet set lightly on fire. Just a skosh of napalm.
It's good to have that little bit of flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, folks, this is Spartan Rarity and Twilight.
Yes.
Spartan.
Disparity. That's me, OC, don't steal.
Well, we appreciate your help in the last react and whatnot. So.
You're welcome. I'm gonna go not be in this anymore.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah. All right, now back to your question.
So to the question. So.
Yes.
Don't chase me up.
It's the security.
Get back in your cage.
So for the College Humor Bronies React, when we first ever started the Bronies Reacts, with the first ever one where we were taking on the teens reacting to My Little Pony and talking about the fandom, ever since we got into it, I from the beginning, I didn't want it to be something where we were taking ourselves like too seriously. Like we were going in. I told everybody, like, the idea of the first Bronies React, when we were putting it together, I'm like, this isn't to defend ourselves. This is to just have fun with it, you know, and show that, you know, whatever, it's water off our backs. Some people aren't going to understand it, and that's all right. So with the College Humor one, we took a similar, you know, with anything that we've hit up with the Bronies Reacts, we've taken the similar stance where it's like, hey, it's okay that people are laughing at our expense at times. Whatever, you know? I mean, this whole thing's goofy.
Yeah.
We have fun with it.
No, that's Disney.
Oh. You're right. This whole thing's Pinkie Pie? I don't know. but yeah, so that's when we went into it. The person who always laughs at himself the most, though, from that react was Gabe.
Where?
No, not here. Because Black Griffin was his first react, and he was dressed up in his navy whites and everything.
Yeah.
And he's like, I took it too seriously, and I'm like, you always take things too seriously, Gabe. No, but yeah, no, we had fun. It was a challenging one, but thanks for taking us back to the past. That was the one where Saber jammed hot Cheetos up his nose.
Was it?
Yeah, well, I mean, he does it most.
Yeah,
but
but that's not like a new thing.
did it on camera. So yeah, next question.
So, have you ever had any, like, weird stuff that is going on
while you're trying to get from one panel to another.
So many
actually
times.
happened to me
At this
Thursday
specific?
night, in particular. The elevator, in particular, it wouldn't open up to the 5th floor. The first set of doors did, but not the second.
Well, then it was just a sign.
I do notice that those doors on the elevators like close very fast.
Can we talk about the fact that we're in the hotel that was in The Shining? Like, am I the only one who's like, when I turned the first,
It's a very confusing layout.
you get lost. And don't get me wrong, I'm not like dogging on the hotel. I'm just saying I can't handle it. All right, but
It's open and the whole thing moves.
oh yeah, that's fun. When I was I turned a corner. When I was trying to find the room on Thursday night, I turned a corner and I could have sworn I saw 2 twins sitting on tricycles, and I was like, okay,
not this again.
Yeah, not again. But no, man, there's so many. Like, we have so many conventions that we've done stuff at. I'm curious if you guys have had any moments, strange moments trying to get from one panel to the next. Is that it? Like the question?
Yeah.
I mean, most of the times it's just been with y'all. Like y'all probably would remember like most of the weird times. It's just like, I mean, can you like pick a?
I'm trying to think of some. There was, I remember we. There was one time where we were coming. This was the first MLP MSP. Was anyone at the first MLP MSP here? Yeah. And we had a Bronies React panel on that Sunday, and Gabe and I stayed. Like, I was at Gabe's hotel room, which was at a different hotel, and the person who was doing the handling for that crowd was like, yeah, we'll head over there whenever you guys are ready. And I'm looking at the time and I'm like, doesn't the panel start in 3 minutes? And we're 6 minutes away from the hotel. And that handler drove very fast. And I busted in there and I went, I can't believe that was a rare occasion that I was late. Now there was one, I've actually missed a panel once. And it was because of, like, just to lay it out the way it was, is the scheduling never told Saber and I that we were on what they called the YouTuber panel. Like, we didn't submit for it, they just made a YouTuber panel and never told us that we were on it. And I happened to be sitting in a movie theater watching Zootopia, and Saber starts getting all these calls on his phone because they knew I was preoccupied. And they're like, are you guys not coming for your panel? And we're like, we don't have a panel, what are you talking about? And they're like, the YouTuber panel, that's supposed to be you guys. Oh, good to know, right now! So yeah, that was a strange one, but it's always fun going through all the hallways. BronyCon was always the hardest one to get from panel room to panel room because it was so big, so many people, a lot of people, and it was hard because BronyCon with so many people will stop you for pictures or autographs and whatnot, and I always felt bad because I never wanted to turn anyone down, but sometimes it's like, I have a panel in 1 minute, I gotta go! So, yeah.
I've had other friends, other YouTubers and friends of my friends, they actually will physically yank me as I start to go over and say hi. Because, oh, you need to stay on track, come on!
They got a leash?
No. Oh, well, no, this is supposed to be family friendly.
As you said to me yesterday, oh, mommy. That was a moment.
That was a
Thank you for your question. Hello.
Hey, just a quick question for you. I saw a vinyl wrapped rarity car out in the parking lot. I was just wondering if it was yours.
Nope, wasn't mine, but I appreciated it. I saw the same thing. We were all together.
Yeah, we were all together. It was last
Have
night.
you seen that car, Silver?
What is this outside you speak of?
Oh. So there's, for anyone who hasn't seen it, does anyone here own that car? Okay, I figured you would have piped up.
Okay.
There's like you said, there's a stickered up rarity car out front. Do you remember what kind of car it was?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell because the logo is all covered up.
Yeah, but no, I mean it looks like the kind of car you'd be like, hey, let's take it out to the local road course and do some laps or whatnot. I was like, whoa, because I love that. I love when people go that far with the stuff, painting up they're street cars. Like I only painted up demolition derby cars, and Steve Harvey found that weird enough.
Right.
Still liked it though. But yeah, no, I saw that and I was like, that's nice. I caught it in the vlog. Everyone here know that I do convention vlogs, or yeah? So yeah, I'm doing them again. So.
All right, just want to ask out of curiosity.
No, that was a.
Although when you called it vinyl wrapped, I got entirely the wrong end.
Yeah. Did you see the vinyl wrapped rarity? Stop there. Explain.
Right.
Hello.
So, on a technical side of how you do these, when people send in you footage of their reactions, how do you map that onto where it is in the movie?
Well, the big question is when they get me their footage.
Welcome to Bronies React to Passive Aggression.
The only reason this panel is happening was so I could get them all together and be like, what the heck? So I edit in a way that I know infuriates other editors, because I do put all of the footage together on the timeline, because I work with so much footage that like it's the easiest way for me to keep track of everything. And so I will, so as far as mapping it to the movie, what I'll do is first I'll go through everyone's footage, and for most people they'll kind of narrow it down, the footage, as far as like, oh, here's the scene I reacted to. Like they'll sometimes put the 3 or 4
Yeah, because you tell us to do that.
timestamped, yeah.
Yeah.
And so they'll let me know, like, this is what I'm reacting to. So I'll chop everything up and cut that down to about how much time I want of that reaction, that I think I'll want of that reaction.
Right.
And then then I start piecing them together in groups. Once I have everybody chopped up, I dice all my tomatoes. You like that reference?
Yes.
And then and then I start grouping things together. So like, okay, here's like the first 4 minutes of the movie. So I'll pull everyone's footage over to that point, and then I'll start editing it down to, all right, who reacted to specific scenes or specific moments? Who's reacting to the same thing? Oh, this is different. No one reacted to this, so I'll set this aside, and I'll kind of clump things together like that. And then it's my last like squeeze it all as one video, where when I have all that clumped together, I cut it down, and then try to again take out even more time, because a lot of the stuff I get is so good that I'm like, I gotta leave this in. This is fun. This is, there's always great jokes, and it's all their fault that they always give me such great stuff to work with. But yeah, that's basically the process, and it does take a couple weeks to put it all together. And my always biggest fear is that someone's gonna send me footage and I'm gonna forget to put it in the timeline and be like, that's weird, I haven't seen much of this person. Luckily, I've only done that with a bonus. And it was Viva. Viva's like, she's like, where's, did you not like my answers? And I'm like, oh my God. I almost died. I was like, I can't believe I did this, I'm so sorry. But yeah, that's basically my editing process, for better or worse. Thank you for the technical question. Hello.
Hey, so super original question. I'm sure you've never heard before. I don't know the answer yet. So if you guys weren't reacting to Pony, what would you maybe all like to react to, or just most of you would like enjoy reacting to, whether it's a show or movie or something?
Can we do a Bronies React to Jurassic Park?
Why not? They eat ponies in that, right?
They eat goats.
What is the difference?
Let's see. Oh, can we do a Bronies React to Spider-Verse? I don't know. Like, Betty Parker loves Pinkie Pie.
What do you think, Silver?
Or how about Deadpool?
Oh yeah, there you go.
Bronies React to Zootopia.
No, we have to all be
That's
forced
another
in the room.
$5.
Like no, can we like all like be like tied to chairs and Race just walks in and it's like wrong.
It's that scene out of Clockwork Orange where their eyes are.
Stop, I thank you.
This is only the 20th time. I was gonna say Disney in general. Like for me, I grew up a Disney fan. I grew up with all those cartoons and those characters. Chippendale. I met my wife through Chippendale Rescue Ranger fandom. That's right. There's a Chippendale Rescue Ranger fandom for those that don't know.
There are dozens of you.
There are literally dozens. And yeah, no, I mean, I've considered at times expanding the channel out that way with more Disney stuff, because obviously I did the stuff with Zootopia, and I will probably continue to. Yeah, there's a show coming out. Zootopia Plus, because everything's plus these days. But yeah, that'd probably be my answer. Expanding out to stuff like that. Saber's already got the market on terrible movies.
Yeah.
Who wants to waste their time with that?
Yeah.
So, I mean, poor Saber.
True that.
Did this to himself. Well, yeah. Thank you. Hello.
Hi.
Oh, you dropped one of your Earth Pony creations.
Ah.
It's a Flash, actually.
Made by Earth Pony Creations.
I thought that was an animal cracker for a second.
They don't taste like it. I've tried.
Also, I don't know how to feel about you flashing all of us.
Yeah. Oh.
That's the Flasher himself.
That's true. You are flashy.
Hey, you're all blind now.
I don't know. Maybe less of a flash, more of a glimmer.
Well, wow. Here we go.
Anyway, so I'm gonna first ask. You've all seen the movie, right? The G5 movie.
There's a movie.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people have gone around asking who's your favorite pony, but instead I'm gonna ask about Sprout. What did you think about Sprout? Would you like him to return? And if so, how would you like him to return? As another villain, or?
I think he's gonna be like one of those things, like, cause we've all talked about this in Devil, besides Silver Cool, cause like we've had this conversation between us about like how the show's gonna be, cause it's like the movie, oh yeah, it's solid, but we don't know how the show's gonna look, cause the movie's, it's probably, the show's not gonna have that type of CGI, so it's like, okay, well, how's this gonna look? And so like we were wondering like, okay, what would the characters do? So Sprout, all right, like you just messed up here, but then you look at like, oh, Starlight freaking was, Starlight, she did all that stuff, Discord, freaking God of Chaos and stuff like that, and there's just like so many of these bad guys, so it's just like, I think it'd be hilarious how if like they start the show off and it's just like, hey Hitch, can I? No. And he just like closes the door and it's just like, and then like throughout the season he just gradually tries to get back in, then like season 2 is like, alright fine, Sprout's here, and then like he weans his way back into the group or something like that, but I don't think he's gonna be like a main villain, because it's funny how we've all just started calling him the main 5 or Quio 5 as my friend Hirasashi calls them. And so like it's because we have Sprout and we're like, is he gonna join later? Like, do we call the main 6, main 7 when Starlight joined? Like, no, it's just like, oh.
It would be uneven though, because it'd be like 3 Earth ponies.
Well, wait, can Sunny turn off her alicorn powers? Yeah, because she has alicorn now. She's like, those are holographic, so it's like, can she like, they're not part of her body.
I'm guessing it's like Green Lantern.
Yeah, it's like Green Lantern. She's like, power of unicorn. She turned to a unicorn for episode. Power of Pegasus, stuff like that. Alicorn. So yeah.
I just love that Sprout's just there. Like when he's got his like just the way he says mommy, like I'm like,
thank you, mommy.
Thank you, mommy.
Thank you, mommy. Yeah. I'm gonna go do terrible things. So yeah,
I'd like for him to be I'd like for him to be sitting in the corner of a town with a dunce cap and a sign that said he had one job.
One job.
There have been those like storyboards that have been uploaded with like they're fake.
I just saw the Twitter post from my Question Daily about that, and they were fake. So somebody
what was that post?
Yeah. It's like storyboards that people were doing for the show. It's like they found out they weren't actually working for the show.
No. Oh no, but what was the story about?
It was Hitch has like Stallion Duel talking to Sprout, who's wearing like a pizza delivery hat, and there's dialogue at the bottom of Hitch going, "Were you always this annoying and I just didn't notice?"
Oh wow, that's cool if they did that. That was awesome.
Was the one of it, the giant robot originally supposed to be his mom? Was that
that was like concept art.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure that would
have been very Brony.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, that's such a bummer.
Mommy.
Alright. First off, Race, I want to say that I love the way that you edit the videos, especially putting in, the little tidbits like the Pirates of the Caribbean clips and stuff like that.
Thank you.
Like, during the MLP movie when the Tempest was chasing them on the pirate ship, you know?
Mhm.
And when you started playing the Captain Look audio, I about died of laughter. I will tell you that right now. I freaking rewinded that, I don't know, fucking 10 times before I stopped.
I always love it because there's sometimes the other editors will also, or other people that are submitting the footage will also put in clips like that, or make their own versions of it. I always get a kick out of kind of those like little references where it's like, I get this, it made me laugh, I'm gonna put it in. When you brought up though the pirate song sequence, all I could think of was how close Sarah came to throwing a book on my head during that.
What?
I was like, were you aiming for me?
Nice.
No. But yeah, like I said, I get a kick out of like the specific one that you brought up there. I'm trying to remember who it was that. Like I can't even remember. I don't know if I was the one who put that together. That might have been actually somebody else. Which again, it's like I love seeing everybody's humor come together for those moments. Yeah, no, that was that was a good scene. It was like, oh my god.
I loved it. One more thing. I believe during an anthology trailer, I saw you running with a camera being chased by a guard.
Oh, yeah.
Context?
That sounds like it was from BronyCon, I believe, 2013. And there was, so a friend of ours, Josh Dean, was very much a part of the upper staff that helped put on BronyCon for years. And he, we knew him from other conventions and hanging out and whatnot. And he was dressed up for, here we are working registration. And I had bumped into him because I was just vlogging the line, and I bumped into him, and he just like immediately goes like, "Hey, what are you doing?" So of course, natural instinct of mine was to run for my life. Yeah. and his canine instincts kicked in, and he chased the running object. He was like, "All right!" And he was fast. That was terrifying. I was like, "My God, this guy is." I mean, he's like twice as tall as me, and you could feel the.
Like a tight.
That was scary, but that's what that was. It's also in my BronyCon 2013 vlog, where from my perspective, where that's happening. Yeah, so that's what that would have been from, I do believe. It's the right time I've been chased by security. There's been a couple. But yeah, no, thanks for your question. And there's Nora. Nora, you've been looking at this thing all weekend long.
Yeah, so what?
Is it nice? Where'd you get it?
I won it.
You won it where?
At the baby shower.
Which baby?
My baby.
Oh. Congrats.
No, there's a staff member that's having a baby soon, so.
Oh.
And anyway, my question is, oh wait, he's not here.
Oh. I would have been really impressed that you were that committed to that joke that you're like, I stood in line for 20 minutes to leave.
I'm saying it's actually for Jaxblade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Jaxblade, I've asked this to a bunch of people, but if you were a merman, what color would your tail be?
Ooh, can I like? Oh man,
lavender.
Oh man, that's cool.
You can design any way you want, any kind of tail, any kind of.
Pele, what's the strongest fish there? I want like a shark one. No, I want like a killer whale. No, I want like a. Can I like have like a Ben 10 thing of tails where I can?
No, you can't. No, you can't.
Like pants.
Give him a long fish.
You can't have it on the tricks.
If I was a merman and I don't know, should I have squid legs or a fish tail?
Make it see-through so you can see like.
Let me say this, Saberspark said he wanted a lobster tail. So.
Yeah. Well, so just a lobster tail but no legs?
Wait, Saber wanted a lobster tail?
With the legs.
Oh, so he'd be like a freaking centaur but lobster?
That's because like Saber's idea is like, and then all I need is a side of butter and I'm good.
Yeah.
So he wanted to be a lobster.
Oh God! Does my size increase relative to the tail, or is it just a tail? Like, is it just a smaller version? Like, if I want to be like a blue
Give him
whale,
a seahorse
would
tail.
I be like a kaiju? Dude, can I get like a Godzilla tail?
She asked what color,
dude,
Jax.
I don't know.
Yes. Race shop, Jax. You can have any form of tail you want, but it's your size.
Oh, that's pretty big then. Okay. I want it a Godzilla scale tail. That's like got the like I got like a Pele. What was that kaiju from Pacific Rim with the tail that was like? Not what am I saying? What's the class 5 kaiju?
Oh, the one with the tentacle bottom.
Yeah.
Jax, size is not
everything.
everything, right?
Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna say
Squid?
cuttlefish color. Because it changes, it camouflages. So like if I'm
Okay, you'll be a part cuttlefish.
No. Okay, go on. Yeah, I want it.
I was just gonna say tiger shark.
Tiger. Yes, tiger shark. There you go. Hurry before I change my mind. Tiger shark. That's what I want.
All right,
Yes,
good
tiger
answer.
shark.
Good answer.
No, wait. I want no.
We'll talk about this later. And you can answer if you want to, Silver.
What, me?
Yes.
Oh.
Silver.
So it's definitely squid bottom. I mean, you know, I've always needed more hands while working. This was the next best thing.
Who doesn't love Squid Bottom? I mean, right?
I mean, we are all anime fans
This
here.
is the name of an anime bar.
Oh boy. Hello.
Hi. So you guys eventually got kind of like, the regulars on for most of your reactions. Who were you really excited to hear wanted to join you? Like as you were going along and then someone pipes in, hey, can I join? And you're like, we got this guy.
Well, good old Race. Let's go tell them the story.
I can't think of anybody. No. There were for the people that I've approached, most of them I have joined in because of friendships that I've had. So I've already kind of had, like, there's been some where it's like, hey, let's go for this, or maybe some other people have the relationship with the person, maybe like a friendship, and they're like, hey, this person would be interested. And it's like, oh, cool, let's give them a shot. I can think of moments, not to tangent away from the question, but there are moments that I look back on that make me laugh of people that did approach me. There was a day where I got a message from someone, and I didn't know who they were, but they were saying that they enjoyed the reacts and would love to take part in them at some point. And it was signed Christ Kids, and I'm like, I mean, I'll look up who this is and see what they've done. And I went, oh, they made the Proud to be a Brony song.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't go by Christ Kids.
Right.
Oh, they go by Black Griffin.
Wasn't that when like freaking YouTube messages?
Yeah, that's how he messaged me.
That's how he messaged me, because like he sent me a photo of him, because like I did this reaction to My Little Dashie, because I was like, this shit broke my heart. And so like I remember watching doing a reaction to it, and then like he literally sent me a message on YouTube messages from Christ Kids. He's like, hey, I really loved that video, and he sent me a picture of him hugging Rainbow Dash. It's this iconic picture of like him hugging Rainbow Dash, and it looks like that image from My Little Dashie, and I was just like, oh, that is so sweet. And then like years later, I was like, you're the guy who sung "Are You Proud to Be a Brony?" You're gay. Oh my God.
I knew the song too before we knew Gabe. Like,
yeah, exactly.
And so like for me, I was like, wow, I pictured you looking different.
No, exactly. I don't know why, but for Gabe, I just imagine, for the guy who sung I'm Proud to Be a Brony, like I always had this visual of this guy with like this big beard and long hair, like Jesus or something like that. I don't know why, I just imagine that, and then like...
Get on it, Gabe.
Yeah.
Gabe is Jesus.
I mean, he kind of is.
So to more directly answer the question though, and I was actually really bummed that we didn't really have an opportunity to have conventions after this was released. But when we had the Bronies React to the end of G4, and the first half of it was the reaction, and there were a few people that kind of returned to do that one that hadn't really been seen in a while, like D-Notive was in there. I Bring to Lols joining in. Mike. Yep. It was... To me, though, I had this idea of what I wanted to do, which was I wanted to get all of the reactors I should say, most of the reactors from the past that I had worked with, that I had good experiences with, get these back on. And these were some of these people I had not spoken to in 6 years. like a really, really long time. And some of them I had to track down, like what do they even go by these days? And okay, I found them, how do I get in contact with them? And to me, one of the most uplifting experiences of all the Bronies Reacts I put together was putting that one together, for how many people that were willing to come back for that React. Just to answer that question of how did MLP change your life? I thought that was really special. That there were people that were like, you know what, I enjoyed working with you, and back when we did it, and I'm willing to come back even though we haven't spoken in half a decade. That to me, I was like, wow, like that to me was really special. Seeing how everyone got involved, and then obviously getting as many of the show staff involved that we did with that one too. It was just like, wow, this was really cool. So I'd say that putting that one together was really a moment where I was like, wow, this has been a really cool impact on people that even I didn't quite realize how much fun people have been having with it over the years. And I was like, this is great. So that's my answer.
How much of the show staff did you reach out to?
Oh God, I don't even know how to answer. So most of the show staff were people that we've interacted with either at conventions or already kind of like worked with or whatnot. There are some that I just simply don't have any means of getting in contact with myself. But just about everybody that we reached out to took part in it. And I was like, that was cool. And I was like, wow, neat. So again, putting that whole thing together was just special. And I still laugh looking back at the live chat whenever because it was a premiere that I released, and I had the Proud to Be a Brony music kind of start up there to lead into that segment, and everyone was like, no, you can't do this to us, like you can't make us cry. But no, I had a lot of emotion working through that one, and it was just super special seeing everybody come back together for that one. Even guys like Living Tombstone, who I hadn't spoken to in a long time, who's obviously had some great success in what he's been doing. And to see him be somebody who was like, yeah, I'm down. I enjoyed doing this when we did it, and I'm happy to take part in this and submit something for it. And I was like, damn, this is cool. So, yeah, that'd be my answer. Thank you. Hello, anime guy.
All right, my question is, what are some very memorable moments that you've had while recording for a Bronies React?
Oh.
Whether it be like crazy stuff happening or something just popped up, like something that happened while you were recording that just sticks into your mind that you constantly think about, or at the very least pops up constantly.
Well,
does it have to specifically happen to us or recording in general?
Well, like something that happened while you were recording.
I hit my funny bone and I hurt myself so bad.
I had to bleep a lot out.
Yeah, it was like on a bonus Bronies React or something like that. I was like doing this photo because it was like for Equestria Girls, and I was like, oh, human Fluttershy, oh, she's so perfect. I'm gonna draw me and him. And then like I forget what happened, but I pretended to act like, oh, someone walked in my room and saw me, and I went like, oh, and I went like this, and I banged my funny bone like hard, and then like there's a bonus React, and I'm just like, bleep, 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 fuck. Bleep, 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 bleep. And it's just like, he bleeps every single thing I say. I'm just like swearing up a storm, but yeah, it was just
It was just flatline.
Yeah, because it was just, but yeah, that was one I always remember. Just,
I thought it was when you lost your voice.
well, which one? Oh, you mean the Tyrek one? Oh yeah, I did lose my voice. Yeah, when I did the first initial reaction to the Tyrek fight, I like lost my voice and I couldn't do anything else for the rest of the react. I was just like, you have this one scene from me.
This guy sends me 3 minutes of footage, and I'm like, I'm just making sure that this was everything.
Yeah.
And he's like, I have nothing left.
Yeah, I gave it my all.
And you did.
Yeah.
You did.
I remember when we were reacting to Shadow Play. I had one of those Force FX lightsabers.
No.
So I made a quick Jedi joke, and I'm just waving this thing around, and it's dark because I can only record at night. I'm a vampire on camera, I guess. Actually, my home lighting is just not set up any other way. So I'm just waving around, and I realize I'm getting really distracted by this thing. So So I actually work it into the bid. It's like, yeah, I'm not even watching right now. I'm just high as can be. And then that same recording, I just make a comment that if there are no, oh no, this was school days. That the tiny party cannon that Binky had.
Yep.
I said if there aren't any of those at BronyCon, I'll be very disappointed.
And there weren't.
There weren't. I was disappointed. But when I saw the final edit on YouTube, word for word with the exact timing, Little Shy said the exact same thing, and when he spliced us together, you couldn't have coordinated it better.
Right.
I was like, okay, that's weird.
Well, didn't Little Shy say he didn't want to say any of those?
No, he did.
He did.
Oh.
We both did.
Okay.
We
And you were both disappointed?
Okay,
Intensely.
okay, I heard him wrong.
We'll change history if he did say that. We'll say no.
None.
Any come to mind for you, Bailey?
I can think of any.
What? Nothing? Mr. Perfect?
That's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I was just trying to think of something like, weird.
That like didn't go right.
Yeah, right.
I did like your shark costume.
Yeah, that was great.
Then you wore it at a Ponyville Ciderfest.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and then Saber wore it and ripped it in half.
It's gone now.
Did you say it's gone now?
No, I still have it.
I feel like all I have to say is G3.5.
Oh, that was great. That was great.
When I was in the box and
you know what's funny about that?
That's the only time I think I've ever seen you completely lose it.
Yeah.
oh, I completely lost.
You want to know what's so funny about that? Is like literally a week before that. Was that 2015? 14.
Thank you. I just love that you guys are. It's this date.
So it was in 2014 in Skype, and I remember this conversation. I think I was with like Hero and Paleo and maybe Saber, but we were talking about our friends who we've seen like lose it, and like it's like I don't think I've ever seen Race like laugh like super hard and like lose it, like because like every one of us has like a moment where like we've broken and we've like seen us just cackle and laugh like that, and at that point I don't think we've heard you like do your Race, but we haven't seen you do the like that. So like, it was literally perfect timing.
I mean, it legit. So for those that don't know the story, for G3.5, is everyone here familiar with G3.5?
I watched it yesterday.
If you went to Rift Ponies, you definitely.
Is there anyone who hasn't seen the G3.5 React? Out of curiosity? Okay, a couple hands. So essentially, I went into G3.5 with I had always heard terrible things about it. And I had seen this a couple times in the fandom where things are blown out of proportion, where I went, you know what? I bet it's not actually that bad. And when Scootaloo burst through the door and made whatever noise that was,
Without moving her mouth.
I broke. My mind snapped in half and has yet to fully recover. I sometimes get goosebumps just thinking of that moment. And that was full on legit. Sarah was sitting next to me off camera, and at one point she had to ask if I was okay. Like, are you still breathing? Like I turned really red. Like that red on your shirt doesn't compare.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you have to go to a doctor?
Yeah, I went to Jaxblade. I said, Jax, I need some emergency.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably the one that sticks out the most for me. But yeah, thank you. Hello.
Hello again. So a few years ago, I remember logging into YouTube and seeing a clip of a certain talk show. And this well-dressed guy in blonde hair. I'm like, that looks a lot like AC.
Well-dressed.
There's no way that he would do this. So I commend you for your bravery. I just wondered what got you into that. If it was like a dare or just some impulsive thing like, you know what, I'm going to do this. Or what got you into do that?
So for those that don't know the context of this question, there is a show called The Steve Harvey Show. And
who's the star?
and there was one day the producers of the Steve Harvey Show, obviously, I forget. Yeah, Steve Harvey was the one, the main host, obviously. And one day the producer reached out to both Black Griffin and myself in regards to coming on for a segment called "Is It Weird?" And we both were like, obviously, we're not gonna do this thing. But they were very upfront about like, oh, this is what it's going to entail. This is, here's past "Is It Weird" segments and whatnot. And some of them were like really weird.
I love your hair.
I hated that haircut so much. So anyways, the whole reason that I ended up, I initially actually turned them down, and I don't think they liked Gabe's answers because they're like,
no, they said he was it was because he was union.
No. So the reason that they ended up turning away from Gabe was they were asking him different questions than they were asking me. Because Gabe, they were asking him, they were like, do you collect the toys and stuff? They never asked me this. But like they're like, we can tell you do, Gabe. So you gotta collect. And he was like, no. No, he was just like, he's like, I'm not even gonna humor them. And so they kind of were like, oh, okay. Because we were trying to make it to where we both went on together, and then we're like, this would be a disaster.
Oh,
God. So we were trying to work that out. So then they...
I would have watched it more.
I eventually turned them down because I said, I can't get... Literally, they contacted, and then they said, yeah, you'll be in 5 days. Fly to Chicago in 5 days. I'm like, I can't get time off work that fast. Well, to humor the situation, I mentioned it to my manager the following day, like, yeah, they thought I was gonna just get time off. My manager does know about these conventions, and boy, does he laugh whenever he's ponies. and he goes, so you're gonna do it? I'm like, I don't think I can get time off. And he goes, you got sick time. Fine, I'll do it. I call up the producer, and part of my reasoning for taking it on, for doing it was, I've been in a lot of situations where I've been in front of crowds, handling microphones, working in kind of a spotlight situation to where I'm like, that won't put me off. And what I didn't want to do was, I was like, what I don't want them to do is keep digging deeper and maybe find somebody who isn't ready for that kind of situation to appear on this show. And I was also curious, like, how do shows like this work? So I'm like, you know what? No regrets. Let's go see what this experience is like and how they do it, because I knew that I could handle the situation. I was like, I can go into this. I'm confident that, they're not gonna get me to say anything I don't want to say, which means, yeah, and I never lied. Like, the whole time they kept saying, we want to find someone obsessed with My Little Pony. And they kept trying to put those words in my mouth, and I only ever said I am a big fan of My Little Pony. So even on they give you a script when you go in, and it's not like the whole thing's scripted. It's just that it's your story that they typed up. So you practice it a few times throughout the day. So when you present it to Steve Harvey and his psychologist, you don't stumble on how you're presenting it. It's not confusing. You kind of streamline it. But on there it said, the first sentence was, I am obsessed with My Little Pony. Oh, no. I'm like, so when I was doing my run-throughs, I never said that either. I was like, no, I know how I presented my story, but I realized, I'm like, what happens is people probably are given these scripts, and they're probably, terrified, realizing I'm about to go on television for this, national television for something like this. And again, I knew, I'm like, I'm gonna stick to what I've always been saying. And I'm fine. And I knew that I had to take down the psychologist first. Yeah. Like, he's my first target. Right. And the problem was, they told me that they're like, oh, it's going to be really good. He already knows your story. He knows what he's going to say. Knowing that he knew what he was already going to say, I went, oh, we're going to see how good you are on your feet. Right. Because he tried to pin it back on me, right? If you guys have seen the segment where he goes, I worry about how deep this is getting into your life. And I'm like, all I told you was I make videos. We paint up demolition derby cars, and I like watching the show. Right. So I'm like, so you're saying this because of the painted up cars? And he's like, oh, everything else you said, he had nothing else to say in the entire segment. I went, yeah, you sit back down. Yeah. and it was a very interesting experience, and I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I did it. I did not see Steve Harvey coming to my side. I didn't know that was going to happen. But my presentation to See, I knew what I wanted to do with Steve, how I was going to get him. Because they tell you can't say it's weird. Because the segment's called Is It Weird? He has to figure it out for himself. So don't say it's weird. I'm like, crap, that's like how I intro all this to people.
Right.
Hey, so this is weird, but guess where I'm going next week for Milwaukee? Yeah, check this out. So I'm like, how do I do this? And I went, I'm going to cuss on national television. And they ended up cutting this out. And because it's a PG panel, I will too. But I was like, Steve, do you know what I said to myself when I realized I had become a brony? And he leans forward and goes, what'd you say to yourself? I just looked him right in the eye and went, poop. But I didn't say poop. And that's the moment where Steve actually leans back and starts smiling and goes, you know what? I like you. You're weird, but I like you just the way you are. And I was like, yes! Thank you for your question. So we have about 3 minutes. My goal is, do you have a question as well? Okay, so the three of you have a question. My goal is to get through all three of your questions to end this panel, so. Hello.
All right, okay, so getting back to the whole 3.5 thing and also other things that have happened both in the past and the more recent future Brony life, is there ever a plan to do Bronies React to those with a twist of maybe getting people a little bit inebriated or maybe having them have a hot wing?
You're suggesting they aren't inebriated when they get on. By the way, I just a friendly reminder to everybody, saying pony life around here is like saying mayonnaise. You gotta be careful. You know, some people, they get angry, they get violent. No, did you follow it up with, or feed them hot wings?
Yes, or hot wings, you know, just...
You mean like in hot
the hot wing challenge?
Hot ones, but yeah, just like every minute when they say do a pun or something.
I couldn't even handle, we went to the AJ Bombers place last night and I was like, oh cool, they have a spicy mustard burger, and I remembered how much I am a wimp with spicy mustard. And they're all like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, you never know. We, as I've talked about, we may at times go back. Obviously G5's coming out, which is fantastic, and we no longer have to talk about, yeah, we're hearing there's a G5. It's here.
Right.
We're in G5 era. We've made it. Good job, fandom, yes! So yeah, who knows? Who knows what kind of wacky things you'll see. Like I said, they're usually inebriated already. All right, second to last question.
All right, so it's on the topic of G5. Bronies React, My Little Pony, A New Generation, when?
Oh my God, you can't ask that. Yeah, guys, when am I gonna get my footage? We're still collecting footage for it. So it'll what?
Maybe December?
Next year, yeah, maybe December next year. It's in the works. I already have some people's footage. I was editing it on the plane. So yeah, it's already being put together. I have learned to not even suggest dates or time, like, oh, I'd like it out around this time, because I always miss my time frames, and I don't like making people wait. so
sorry.
You're not sorry. But no, it's like I said, it's in the works. So
Also,
when is
Pip is worst main 5.
Wow, Pip.
Jump it! Go get it!
I mean that's kicking a pony while she's, down.
Yeah.
She always down?
Yeah, she's low or short. She's low.
She's low.
Wow. Getting. All right, the final question of the Bronies React panel.
2 actually. One is about some of your former panels, like Riffing is Magic, I think it was. What is your process for finding those videos?
We realized that we haven't chosen a video the night before, and then Saber tweets out saying, does anyone have any good videos? And then usually the first one he sees painfully hurts him, and he says, this is it. We did it at Everfree Northwest. We did some riffing, and he and I both, like, it was like 2 days before the convention, and I was like, have you found a video? And he's like, No? Well, we need to find a video. We're so used to jumping on a panel, doing our thing without like setup. You know, like whose line takes setup for the people in the background, but like for Silver, myself, Jax. For us, there's not a lot of setup involved. You know, you show up, you do it. Bronies React panel, we get up here, and I always love this kind of. It's not necessarily improv, but it's working off of you guys, the audience. Like you guys turn these panels into what they are, and that's what I love about them. You know, we're all just goofing and having fun and talking about the projects or the fandom or the show, but yeah. So riffing though is like, oh yeah, we need to prepare for that, and Paleo wasn't there, which is the guy we usually rely on prepping the riffing panels, and you were probably laughing when we're like, Paleo, do you have anything? He said, burn.
But I'm taking care of Lammy.
Yeah, I'm busy. And then what was your last question?
How did you feel about being approached for your role in Analysis Anarchy?
Oh, God. So, what's funny about this? Silver, you've been very lodged into all that stuff. Yeah. For us, God, this is a throwback here. Has anyone here ever gone to Pacific PonyCon? It's quiet. This was in San Diego. The first year of Pacific PonyCon, the venue was beautiful, first off. So shout out to Pacific PonyCon. It lasted 2 years. But we were approached by Dr. Wolf, and yeah, he kind of pulled us aside and was like, hey, I'm interested in having you and SaberSpark on, and we have an idea for a script and whatnot. But I kid you not, that conversation, which happened in, I think, 2015, I want to say, you saw when we showed up eventually. I honestly thought they were like, we don't actually want these guys in the show. Fair. And yeah, then they were like, all right, here's the script. And it was like 3 years later, and it was like, which don't get me wrong, I ain't complaining. We had fun with it. Like, I was like, oh, cool. It's cool to be a part of this. And yeah, we had fun, but it was a very long process. And I commend, I've been parts of long projects, but I commend the effort that's always gone into that show, that all of you put into it with keeping it going, sticking to a storyline, an ever-evolving storyline. I like I said, I commend everyone that was putting that together for what they did for years.
Lightning Bliss and her crew were really great animators.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was great. It's not the kind of production that you oftentimes get to see, but like I said, I enjoyed being a part of it, even the short bit that we did. With that, I do want to thank. Yeah.
Just one quick question.
Sure, why not?
Are you gonna get any of your tripods signed?
But what?
Are you gonna get any of your tripods signed?
Get them signed? I just cover them in nasty duct tape. No one even wants to touch
I was gonna
it.
say you get them signed by a three-legged stand gets signed by a three-legged pony.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I was like, where are you going with this? Oh yeah, you're right. Oh man, great. We're gonna end it on that note. Thank you all for coming out to the Bronies React panel. We'll see you around the convention. Thanks for your support, everybody.